Hello everybody, it is back again, another video. Alright guys, it is French Open final time. We had 128 players in the draw 2 weeks ago. Now we have only 2 left men standing. 126 players are out. Only 2 are left, guys, they will battle out on Sunday. Who will lift the trophy? Who will win the French Open 2022? Rafael Nadal, let's talk about him first. Rafael Nadal is making his 14th French Open final. Rafael Nadal is making his 13th Grand Slam final, only one behind the all-time leaders, Djokovic with 31 Grand Slam finals and Roger Federer with 31 Grand Slam finals. Nadal is now second behind with 30th Grand Slam finals. Rafael Nadal came into this tournament against all the odds. He came into this tournament without any clay court tournament wins in this 2022 clay court season. He came into this tournament with foot injury. At least he lives with the foot injury. He's not injured, but he lives with the foot injury, which has had this foot problem for 15-20 years time. Rafael Nadal came into this tournament with just coming back from a rib injury. Rafael Nadal came into this tournament with worst possible preparation, but against all the odds, he still made it. And not to forget the brutal draw that he also had. He had Novak Djokovic looming in the first Felix Aliassime looming in the 4th round, a top 10 respectable player who has shown some great result lately in this clay court season, with quarterfinal appearance in Madrid, with quarterfinal appearance in Rome. Felix Aliassime was looming in the 4th round. That was his first test. Then his huge, biggest challenge was looming in the quarterfinal, Novak Djokovic. Also, of course, a top 10 player, world number 1, 20 times Grand Slam champion, defending French Open champion from last year. And many of us, I including myself, thought that the winner from this clash of the titles, the quarterfinal, will be the winner of the French Open 2022. Rafael Nadal handled those heavy, slow conditions much better than Novak Djokovic, and he took out Novak in 4 sets. I personally predicted that Novak would win that quarterfinal. I stick with that prediction. What I said, I remember what I said. You can see that on my videos. But actually, after Nadal won that first set, when I saw how difficult and how slow the conditions were, I even did a video just after the first set, and I said that Novak Djokovic needs a miracle to come through this one, to defeat Nadal in this heavy slow conditions, because I was seeing that Novak was not hitting through the court and Nadal was, with this heavy firepower of forehand that he has. Nadal and Djokovic, unfortunately for him, he doesn't have that heavy firepower in his forehand, and Nadal was hitting through the court, Djokovic wasn't. And after the first set, I actually did a video and I said that Djokovic needs a miracle. He needs a John Isner of a serve to survive these heavy slow conditions against Nadal. And he didn't. I actually deleted that video later on, because I have that opinion that if you have a prediction, you should stick to that and not change your mind during the match, which I did after the first set. And that's why I deleted the video. But you who have seen that video can be witness to that, what I said after the first set. Anyway, Nadal comes his obstacle, he comes his big challenge. He survives Djokovic, and then in the semis, he had a hard fight, over 3 hours battle against Alexander Zverev, which unfortunately ended in a very sad way, where Zverev was forced to retire with a really serious ankle injury in the end of the second set. Who knows what would have happened in that Zverev match if Zverev would not hurt himself. I still would have picked Nadal, the more consistent, the more solid, the more stronger mentally player. Because let's be honest, all credit to Zverev, but he's not mentally strong, especially hitting second serves. That is not his strength. That's for sure. and playing the big moments, big clutch moments good. That is not Zverev's strength. Anyway, Nadal comes through all the obstacles. Bad preparation, not clay tournament wins before the French Open starts, rib injury, coming back just from rib injury, concern with his foot, all these huge challenges, he survives them and he is in the final. Are we surprised? Of course not. It is Rafael Nadal we are talking about. Then Casper Ruud. It was the golden opportunity of the bottom section of the draw. It was the runner-up section of the draw. It was the $1 million question was who will take that final spot on the bottom of the section of the draw. When I had Tsitsipas taking it. He was my pick to make to the final in the bottom section of the draw. He didn't have Nadal on his way. He didn't have Djokovic on his way. He didn't have Alcaraz in his way. He didn't have Zverev in his way. He avoided all of those 4 players. So he had only to handle with players like Ruud, Rublev, Cilic, Mimir Kosmanovic, yeah, you name it. Who made it to that final? It was not Tsitsipas, it was Casper Ruud. Am I surprised? A little surprised. Am I shocked? Absolutely not. Casper Ruud is legit, guys. His best surface is clay. He has won 8 tournaments in his career. 7 of them has come on clay. Even though they have been 250 class tournaments, but still, guys, it is still good. He just won Geneva before French Open. So Casper Ruud actually is in a 10-match winning streak. 4 in Geneva, 6 now here at French Open. So I had actually Casper going to that quarterfinal. I really had. But I had him going out against Tsitsipas. But when Tsitsipas crashed out in the 4th round against Holger Rune, I was more or less convinced that now Casper Ruud will make it to that final. And that's why I was picking him to win all his matches. All his matches. The only obstacle, the only player I truly didn't believe Casper would defeat was Tsitsipas in the quarters. And that's why I did my prediction before the event started that Casper will lose the quarterfinal match against Tsitsipas. But when Tsitsipas crashed out, I picked Casper Ruud to win all his matches. I picked him to win against Holger Rune in the quarters. I picked him to win against Cilic in the semis. So, after Tsitsipas lost, the man to go to the final for me has been Casper Ruud, and he delivered. He went to that final. All credit to Casper Ruud. He has been playing tremendous good tennis, guys. He has lost for 6 sets. 3 more sets than Nadal in his 6 matches. Nadal has lost 3 sets. Casper Ruud has lost 6 sets in 6 matches. And they both have played 5 sets, 1 5-set match each. Nadal played his 5-set match against Felix Arasimi in the 4th round. Casper Ruud played his 5-set match against Sonego in the 3rd round, where he did a great comeback. Casper Ruud coming back from 2 sets to 1 down, and went and turned that match around and won in 5 sets. Great comeback, great performance from Casper Ruud there. So, really, Casper Ruud has shown some tremendous good tennis. And if you look at the winners that Casper Ruud has done in 6 matches, he has done 259 winners, guys. That is unbelievable stuff. 259 winners in 6 matches. And he has done only 138 unforced errors. So Casper Ruud does 221 more winners than unforced errors. That is a huge difference. 121 more winners than unforced errors. 259 winners and only 138 unforced errors in 6 matches. If you look at Nadal's numbers, Nadal has done 204 winners. 204 winners. Casper, 259. Casper does 55 more winners than Rafa Nadal in 6 matches. Nadal, 204 winners. Casper Ruud, 259 winners. And if you look at unforced errors that Nadal has done in 6 matches, Nadal has done 166 unforced errors. So Nadal does only 38 more winners than unforced errors. Casper Ruud, 121 more winners than unforced errors. So Casper Ruud does 55 more winners than Rafa Nadal in 6 matches, and Casper Ruud does 28 less unforced errors than Rafa Nadal in 6 matches. Casper Ruud does 138 unforced errors in 6 matches. Rafa Nadal does 166 unforced errors in 6 matches, which makes it to 28 more unforced errors from Rafa Nadal's racket than Casper Ruud's record in 6 matches. But we should not forget that the draw has been much more difficult for Rafael Nadal. Rafael Nadal has had 3 top 10 players on his way to this French Open final. 3. Felix Yalassime in the 4th round, Novak Djokovic in the quarterfinal. And he's not only a top 10 player, Djokovic, he's a world number 1. He's a 20-time Grand Slam champion. He's a defending French Open champion. So Nadal takes him out in the quarters, and then also the 3rd top 10 player that Nadal has defeated is in the semis. Alexander Zverev, even though that Zverev is retired, but Nadal comes through. Let's be honest. We don't know how that match would have ended, but it is Nadal who will be in the French Open final on Sunday. It is not Zverev. Casper Ruud, on the other hand, he has had a much easier draw. He has not faced one single top 10 player in his 6 victories at French Open. So this tournament has been kind of a tennis that Casper Ruud is used to play. 250 class tournament, like he plays a lot. So he has not faced one single top 10 player. I'm not saying that Casper is not deserving this final spot. Of course he is. From the bottom section, from the runner-up section, from the golden opportunity section of the draw, Casper Ruud has taken his chances the most. Rublev didn't do it. Tsitsipas didn't do it. To mention 2 top 10 players who was in that bottom section of the draw. Casper did. All credit to Casper. But his path to the French Open final, it has been much more easier than Nadal. Like I said, Nadal, three top 10 players in his way. Felix, Djokovic and Zverev. Casper Ruud, none. He didn't face one single top 10 player in his 6 victories that he has had here at French Open. But I'm impressed with Casper Ruud's level, guys. He has shown some tremendous good tennis. Like I said, I mentioned all the winners, all the unforced error stat that he has shown. Unforced errors and winner stat are better than Nadal. He has done more winners than Nadal in 6 matches. He has done less unforced errors than Nadal in 6 matches. But it has to do also with the draw. Casper Ruud has had a much easier draw than Rafael Nadal. But I think that Casper Ruud will play his first ever French Open, his first ever Grand Slam final. He didn't even play his first ever semi-final in the past. Not even his first ever quarterfinal in the past. So Casper Ruud has done tremendous progress in his career by making his first ever Grand Slam final and also becoming the first ever Norwegian to play a Grand Slam final. Let's see if he can be the first ever Norwegian to also win a Grand Slam title. But he has 2 Mount Everest mountain to climb. Not 1, guys, but 2. Rafael Nadal is the biggest challenge to take in tennis when it comes to defeat him at French Open final. 7 players has tried before. Federer 4 times, has failed all the 4 times. Djokovic 3 times, has failed all those 3 times. Dominic Thiem 2 times, has failed both of those 2 times. So, and then we have 4 other players who has tried once each. Puerta, Robbie Söderling, Stan Wawrinka and David Ferrer. So 7 players has tried to defeat Rafael Nadal in 13 French Open finals. All of those 7 players have failed. Will Casper Ruud will be the 8th player to fail in defeating Rafael Nadal in a French Open final? I believe he will, guys. My prediction is that Casper Ruud will give Nadal a run for his money. After all, he's 13 years younger than Nadal. Nadal is not in his peak of his career. Nadal is not a consistency machine, a consistent beast, a consistent predator like he used to be. He takes coffee breaks during the matches, which he never did in his peak years. So Casper Ruud is not having a huge of a challenge like Djokovic, Federer and Thiem had, to mention 3 of the players. And all the other 4 as well. Puerta, Söderling, Stan Wawrinka and David Ferrer. When those 7 players lost to Rafael Nadal in those 13 French Open finals, they were facing a more beast mode, more great mode level Nadal. For sure a more beast mode level Nadal. Nadal is not the same kind of a beast mode level nowadays. He goes up and down his matches. He can do bad games. He can do bad service games. So Casper Ruud has a shot. I don't think Nadal will steamroll Casper Ruud like many of you are believing. He has the huge forehand, Casper Ruud. He has a huge forehand. He does a lot of damage with that shot. Nadal knows this, even though they have never played each other. This will be the first ever meeting between them. It is obviously 0-0 in the head-to-head. So Nadal will avoid Casper Ruud forehand in every cost. Nadal is not crazy like Federer and Djokovic, where those two, I've seen them before, they are not afraid of their opponent's strengths. And they play towards the opponent's strengths. I've seen Federer doing that against Del Potro a lot of times. I've seen Djokovic doing that against Nadal a lot of times as well. Most recently, Djokovic did that in the quarterfinal match, where I strongly believe Djokovic was playing too much towards Nadal's forehand. So Nadal is a smart player. Nadal is he's a careful player. He has a very huge respect for his opponent, no matter what their name are. Nadal will not care that Casper Ruud is playing his first ever Grand Slam final. Nadal will not take this match lightly. Forget that. That is not Nadal mentality to take his opponents lightly. Nadal will go into that French Open final on Sunday like he's facing Djokovic, or like he's facing Federer, like he's facing Thiem, like he's facing a Grand Slam champion. He will not think, Casper Ruud will maybe be nervous. Casper Ruud has not won a Grand Slam title ever in his life. Casper Ruud has not even won a Master 1000 title ever in his life. He has never won a big tournament in his life. He has only won more or less 250 class tournaments. Nadal will not think that way. Nadal will penetrate that Casper Ruud backhand all the time. Casper Ruud needs to be ready hitting a lot of backhands. He needs to be ready to hit a lot of backhands. Casper Ruud needs to be ready returning a lot of backhand returns. Because Nadal, 95% of the time, he serves towards his opponent's backhand side. So Casper Ruud really needs to have a great backhand day. He really and he needs to also hope that the weather will be cold, because if it is sunny and really hot, Nadal's forehand will jump in the air. But the interesting thing is here that Casper Ruud also has a huge amount of topspin. We are seeing two topspin machines facing each other, guys. Casper Ruud, after Nadal, he maybe has the biggest amount of topspin on the tour. Nadal first, and then Casper Ruud just behind him. That's why Casper Ruud is so successful on clay, because when you have huge topspin on this surface, you get a lot of rewarded with your shots. So Casper Ruud will also give Nadal his own medicine, like Nadal gives to everybody else, because he has huge topspin as well. But Nadal is a more complete player. Nadal is a more consistent player. Nadal is the greatest clay court player of all time. Let's be honest here. Nadal is the favorite here. And Casper Ruud will be the underdog, but I don't think Nadal will steamroll Casper Ruud. So Casper Ruud he needs to have a great backhand day. Casper Ruud needs to have a great serving day, which he has a great serve as well, Casper Ruud, actually. Both first and second serve. He did 16 aces against Manny Chilton in the semifinals. That was really impressive stuff. So Casper Ruud has the stuff to bother Nadal. And how will Nadal play against Casper Ruud? I said how Nadal will play against Casper Ruud. Nadal will penetrate that backhand side. Nadal will serve toward Casper Ruud's backhand side, and Nadal will try to end the points fast. Nadal is a machine in the 0-4 shots. In the serve plus game, Nadal is a machine, especially in his serve plus forehand game. Nobody does it better than Nadal, especially on this surface, in the serve plus forehand game. So Nadal will try to be successful in his serve plus forehand game. Casper Ruud will try to do the same. He will also try to hit as many forehands as well as possible, as fast as he lands his first and second serve. So Nadal will try to return to. Nadal will do anything in his power to hit every single ball towards Casper's backhand. Even when Nadal is returning, he will try to make those returns towards Casper's backhand. Nadal will be frightened. Nadal will be extremely afraid from Casper's forehand, but because that is the biggest damage Casper does, it is with his forehand and with his serve. And the same thing, Casper will try to avoid Nadal's forehand side as much as possible. He will try to push Nadal towards his backhand as much as possible, and then if Nadal makes a short ball, and then Casper will step into the court and hit down the line forehands, inside forehands for clean winners. That will be Casper's game plan. The same thing will be Nadal's game plan as well. They will try to avoid each other's forehand as much as possible. With all this said, I still think Nadal will be too big of a mountain to climb for Casper, too consistent on baseline, too solid, and Casper will face his first big test in this year's French Open 2022 edition. Like I said, he has not faced one single top 10 player in his road to this French Open final. Nadal will be his first big test and challenge, and Nadal will be his first top 10 player he's facing in this year's French Open 2022 edition. All the other 6 dudes that he has faced, Nadal will be a completely different beast that Casper will face in the final. So, but I don't think Nadal will steamroll Casper Ruud. Casper Ruud has been playing tremendous good tennis. He has doing a lot of winners, a little unforced. He has serving huge. He has all the tools to really trouble Nadal. But will he finish that hard finish line? 7 other players have failed in the past. I think Casper Ruud will be the 8th player to fail. I have Nadal winning this one in 4 sets. I think Nadal will win his 14th French Open title, his 22nd Grand Slam title. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and see you next time. Peace.